We begin by praising Allah, and we send blessings and salutations upon His beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family and his companions, and all of those to follow him up until Yawm al-Qiyamah. And I'm sure we are all up to date with the news, and we've all heard recently of the court that ruled against students praying, offering their salah at school. And this is something that's very serious, we have to talk about. Because people in this day and age, we think qada is something that's easy. You can delay your salah either from your school or from your work, and you can do it when you go home, and you think that's okay. فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ, Allah says. Woe to those who offer their salah. What is wail? You'll find in many of the tafasir, the ulama, they've explained that there is a specific valley in Jahannam where the severest punishment of Allah is. And when Allah says wail to certain groups of people, it means that He's putting them over there. Allah is saying over here, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ, those who offer their salah. They call themselves Muslims, and they offer their salah. You may see them offering their salah too, but they will be in the deepest portions of Jahannam. Why? Because of their salah, they were in a state of sahwa, neglect. الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. They are neglectful of the timings of their salah. Now I was thinking today, what could I come and say to us that is a motivation for me and for you, that will truly impart on us the importance of salah, no matter your age. From the moment you turn 10, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you have to be punctual with your salah. Parents have to ensure that their children are punctual with their salah. And so we'll go to Surah Ghafir. And let's take a glimpse of the akhirah. Perhaps by going over these ayat, we'll truly awaken our hearts so that we stop neglecting our salah and we stop delaying our salah. And be it those who work or those who go to school, they will stand their ground and offer their salah no matter what, in its prescribed times. So on Yawm al-Akhir, on the day of judgment, once the judgment is complete, and the people who are destined for Jahannam are put in Jahannam, Allah, He says, and before we get there, Allah, He says in Surah A'raf, وَلَقَدْ ذَرَأْنَا لِجَهَنَّمَ كَثِيرًا مِنَ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسِ, that we have destined for Jahannam the majority of man and jinn. The majority. A minority is going to Jannah. Ask ourselves the question, which one are you? From the minority or the majority? May Allah grant us all Jannatul Firdaus. May Allah protect us all. So Allah, He says in Surah Ghafir, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا يُنَادَوْنَ لَمَقْتُ اللَّهِ أَكْبَرُ مِن مَقْتِكُمْ لَمَقْتُ اللَّهِ أَكْبَرُ مِن مَقْتِكُمْ أَنفُسَكُمْ إِذْ تُدْعَوْنَ إِلَى الْإِيمَانِ فَتَكْفُرُونَ. That when they are placed in Jahannam, those who are destined for Jahannam, an announcement will be made. One of the names of the Day of Judgment is Yawm al-Tanad, the Day of Announcements, because that is the first time some people will ever be calling upon Allah. And these people, they will get a response. It will be announced to them, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا يُنَادَوْنَ لَمَقْتُ اللَّهِ أَكْبَرُ مِن مَقْتِكُمْ أَنفُسَكُمْ. That the hatred of Allah is greater for you, O Ashabun Nar, than your hatred for yourselves on this day. What does that mean? It means when a person is put in Jahannam and he finally realizes how foolish he was in this life, that he lived here for such a short amount of time, and still he didn't believe in his Almighty Lord, who created him, who provided for him, who made him and shaped him and formed him, who gave him everything. وَمَا بِكُم مِّن نِعْمَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ. Allah says, every single ni'mah you and I have, it's from Allah. It's all from Allah. No matter what you may see of goodness, it's all from Allah. Yet still these people, they never believed in him. And so they will hate themselves on that day. Ashabun nar. They will hate themselves on that day. We find similarities in this life. People who live with guilt, they can't even look at themselves in the mirror. Those who do wrong things and they know it's wrong, and deep down inside, they hate themselves for it. They cannot even look at themselves in the mirror. When the people, Ashabun Nar, are in Jahannam, it will be even worse than that. And then the announcement is made that Allah's hatred for you is even greater than the hatred you feel for yourselves. Now the first question we ask is, hold on a second, Allah hates? I thought Allah is the all-loving, the all-merciful. Where did this come from? Because we live in a secular country. This is what the Christians think. This is what they say, God is all-loving. Be the worst person to walk upon the earth, God will still love you. But in Islam it's different. Because if you become the most wretched of individuals, you remove yourself from the rahmah of Allah. You remove yourselves from the love of Allah. And then when judgment is made, and for those who ultimately go to Jahannam, and again may Allah protect us from Jahannam, and it's announced to them that Allah's hatred for you is worse than yourselves. Why? إِذْ تُدَعَوْنَ إِلَى الْإِيمَانِ. Because you were called to believe in your Lord, the Almighty Allah. فَتَكْفُرُونَ. But you disbelieved. You disbelieved instead. Let that sink in for a moment. 2 ayat later, Allah He says, ذَلِكُمْ بِأَنَّهُ إِذَا دُعِيَ اللَّهُ وَحْدَهُ كَفَرْتُمْ. When you are called to worship Allah alone, to obey Allah alone, to serve your Lord who made you alone, then you don't want to do so. Likewise, many of the Muslims today, we are called to obey Allah and His Messenger alone, but we don't want to. We simply don't want to. وَإِن يُشْرَكْ بِهِ تُؤْمِنُوا. But when it comes to associating partners with Allah, you happily believe. A little bit of the halal and a little bit of the haram. I'll pray one day and I won't pray another day. I'll make Allah happy one day. Or maybe I'll fast throughout the month of Ramadan. And then the entire year, forget about it. وَإِن يُشْرَكْ بِهِ تُؤْمِنُوا. The disbelievers, when it came to associating partners with Allah, they happily believed. But when it came to worshipping Allah alone, they hated it. This is the situation of Ashabul Nar. And then furthermore, it's mentioned in the narrations, when these powerful announcements are made, that the people of Jahannam, when they have despaired, they will start crying. Because they know that there's no way out from Jahannam. And they will continue crying until there's no tears left. Until blood it pours out of their eyes. Maybe in this life, you've never seen it with your own eyes. Maybe you've just heard the phrase that I cried tears of blood. But on Yawm al-Qiyamah, you will see it. On Yawm al-Qiyamah, when the people are put in Jahannam, it will happen to them. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, up until there will be so much of blood, that if you have to take a ship and put it on that blood, the ship will float. All of the regret, because they chose this worldly life. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ اشْتَرُوا الضَّلَالَةَ بِالْهُدَىٰ. They sold their guidance in order for misguidance. They sold their portion of Jannah for a little space in Jahannam. Now where are we going with this? Why are we mentioning this? What's this got to do with our salah? Because the very first question you will be asked about on Yawm al-Qiyamah is your salah. Your salah. Your salah. Not whether you were good to your parents, not whether you were good to your children, not whether you did a good job working, not whether you gave in sadaqah, not whether you fasted in the month of Ramadan, not whether you did hajj. Your salah. Your salah. What is the situation of your salah? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, if your salah was good, everything after that will become easier. But if your salah was not good, everything after that gets worse and worse. and worse. Now some of the ulama, they say that you can delay your salah out of necessity. Well, we hate to break it, but education is not a necessity. It is a worldly need. Your need for Jannah is far greater than your need for secular education. So much so that these people who do these sort of things, when they are in their dying moments, the angels will come to them. And they will say that we couldn't offer our salah, we were oppressed on the land. We were too busy with our work. We lived in a Western country. It's not designed for the Muslim. I had to work to provide for my family. So I had to delay my salah. What will the angels do? As Allah mentioned in the Quran. Imagine the size of these angels. Allahu A'lam how big they are. The size of mountains. You know the size of Jibreel alayhi salam. One of his wings covers the horizon. He has 600. Malakul Maut, only Allah knows the size of him. As they start slapping your face and slapping your back, saying, was the earth of Allah not big enough for you? Move out of that country so that you can offer your salah and fulfill your deen. This is the situation of those who go to Western countries and turn away from their deen. You want to live in this country, maybe because it has better worldly prospects, and you neglect your salah. Where do you think you're going? Where do you think you're going? We all have to return to Allah. Haven't you taught your children? But you are so happy when they get their secular education, their degrees and good grades. My young brothers and sisters in Islam, if your parents truly loved you, they wouldn't want to see you burn. But there's a disease in our hearts today. Al-Wahan it's called. Weakness, flimsiness, that's born from the love of this dunya. What happens when a parent loves this dunya so much that he doesn't care if you're going to burn in the akhirah? Good parenting? Is this what the ummah has come to? After an entire Ramadan of seeing your brothers and your sisters in Gaza dying out of starvation, this is what we come to? Where now it's easy for them to make legislation that we can't offer salah in school. And that's the strength of the Muslims. And we're still willing to sit here and smile like everything is okay. Yes, we'll be okay, our children will be okay. Who said? Look at your salah, look at your children's salah. Because from a young age, if you're not instilling the correct knowledge and the correct discipline of being a good Muslim, of fulfilling your obligations and their obligations to Allah, what do you think will happen to you, O parents, on Yawm al-Qiyamah? An easy account. When because of you, your children were far astray. Because of you, your children were far astray. Many of them even disbelieved. You also get to carry that sin. Doesn't mean you're coming to the masjid 5 times a day, you're saved. أَفَأَمِنُوا مَكْرَ اللَّهِ. Do you feel safe from the plan of Allah? Yet your own children are disbelieving. And you think you've done a good job? Why do we offer salah? And we'll finish on this note. Minimum 5 reasons. The first reason is to fulfill our purpose. Allah says, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. That we have not created man and jinn except that they have to worship Allah. That is your purpose in this life. Do what you want in your life. Be what you want in your life. Don't let go of your salah, because then you've let go of your purpose. And you will not accomplish any success in the akhirah. The second reason is to show gratitude for the blessings of Allah upon us. Many people say, I have Allah in my heart, don't tell me what to do. Yes, even the Christians say that. Even the Jews say that. Even the mushrikeen say that, whilst they're worshipping idols. But that's not the quality that gets a person into Jannah. Man khashiya ar-Rahman bil ghayb. Whoever fears Allah in the unseen, they will be saved. And we show gratitude not just with our tongue, but with our actions. So a sign that we are thanking Allah is we start offering our salah. The third reason is because we don't want to be punished. We want to be saved from Jahannam. Inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. Allah says that your salah, when you establish it, it will become a protection for you from all evil, from all things that displeases Allah. The fourth reason is because we want to get the reward also. We want the rewards that is in store with Allah. We want Jannah. May Allah grant us all Jannatul Firdaus. And the fifth and the most important reason is because it is the most beloved of all deeds in the sight of Allah. And that is sufficient for the true believer to hold on to his salah. That my Lord Allah Ar-Rahman Al-Wadud, the one who cares about me more than anybody else, the one who loves me more than anybody else, the most beloved deed to him is salah, then I will never let go of it. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَشَدُّ حُبًّا لِلَّهِ. Because the true believer, his love for Allah is intense. To get closer to Allah, to be close to Allah. That is why the true believer, the biggest reason he offers is salah. May Allah make us all steadfast and consistent with our salah up until we return to Him. We'll keep it over there. بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعني وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم أقول قولي هذا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد. Before we end the khutbah, it would be quite absurd if we come over here to the khutbah, start shouting things without any solutions. So very quickly, what is the solution? Number one, parents, you need to educate yourself and also educate your children on the importance of salah. That being a Muslim is not just saying La ilaha illallah, but the very basic is offering your 5 salah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said the only difference between a believer and a disbeliever is the salah. You abandon your salah, you've committed kufr. If you abandon your salah, you've committed kufr. Now, minor kufr. It's called kufrun ni'mah, ingratitude. May Allah grant us all good understanding. Likewise, you have to implore your children and ensure that they are offering their salah. And if their schools or whoever it may be tries to stand against them, we have to stand together and ensure that they cannot do this. But what will unite us other than the Quran and the Sunnah? You can answer that question yourself. We all have to educate ourselves. قال الله تعالى